Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to a latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. Myself and Boz are back. We missed Monday. It was bank holiday for me, and I did tweet and say I was doing family stuff. But back tonight to have a quick look back at Coventry. Very quick look back at that. Bit of a paper review. It's been a quiet week, hasn't it? Because there's been no midweek game for the first time this season, I think, isn't
Probably
it?
done them good.
And then we look forward to a trip to one of our happy stomping grounds, Oakwell, at the weekend.
Yeah.
Where we haven't won in 50 plus years, I read today, so should be fun. But Coventry was last Saturday, drew 1-1, weren't at our best, I think it's fair to say.
Lucky to get a point, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment. Coventry basically missed a lot of chances like we did on the Wednesday, didn't they? So they just couldn't stick the ball in the back of the net. I think if they'd got the second one, that'd have been it. We weren't good enough to get back into the game, not like the Sunderland one where we kept creating chances. We were just very flat and
I
a
think
bit
the Sunderland
lethargic.
one had a bit to do with it. I think he just tired a lot of them out. They looked so run
And again,
down.
and not making changes, unfortunately. What was that, 3 games on the spin where we'd not made a change? I mean, it's all right to be consistent, but Steve Lovell keeps talking about this big squad. And
I think the only change we've made to that 11 from the first day was easing for Parrott, isn't it?
yeah, the back five's not changed, has it? Ings has started every league game, Burner had started every league game, Regan Charles Cook had started every league
And
game.
so, yeah, it's just Parrott for Eves.
Yeah, and just dropped Josh Parker in, yeah. So one change in the first 6, really. I suppose on the positive side, like we said on the match day live last Saturday, was that that's a game we'd have probably lost previously. So to stay in it and dig in and to get a
really
point.
good moment of brilliance, isn't it?
Really, really good. Yeah, there was James, who runs D3, D4 football, actually put our match day vlog on a Coventry forum for us, and we got labelled a couple of lovely names, us two.
Did we? I haven't seen that.
One was me because I predicted 4-0. And someone said that if it wasn't down to poor decision making, Elliot Liss wouldn't have been able to score his brilliant goal. I didn't know. I genuinely didn't know what that meant. But yeah, we got called.
But from their side, they had enough chances. They should have won that game comfortably.
Yeah, if they'd stuck it in the back of the net, the Elliot Liss goal would have made no difference because it could have been 2 or 3-0 by then.
Yeah.
So that's their own fault. But yeah. So yeah, it weren't the best performance, but I think as a positive is we weren't at our best, but we dug in and got a point, and it could be a crucial point come the season's end. Hopefully for something to do near the top of the table and not anything else. But yeah, as I've already mentioned, this big squad that Steve Lovell keeps talking about, he's mentioned it again. Gills hinting at changes is the back page of today's Medway Messenger.
It's been the back page for the last 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, and it went back into last season, didn't it, where he said the same, and then we went to Northampton with an unchanged side and 1-2-1. So, but Steve Lovell says we might.
know there's got to be changes this week because of the injuries.
Yeah, no Parrott still. And we'll get to team moves in a minute. Obviously, we know Mark Byrne and Regan Charles Cook are going to be out as well. But yeah, Steve Lovell says we might change it up a bit on Saturday. I have to change it because of injuries to Mark and Regan, but we will see how we go. I will never go out and just defend, but we have to be mindful of what their strengths are and deal with them. We know what our strengths are. I will put an 11 out there and play one way, and with the same 11 we can change it and play a different way. It all depends how the game goes, but I feel that we have to go not so all-out attack, which we have been. I think that's a fair assessment, and he's put it
we
right.
almost got found out last weekend, didn't we? And no disrespect to Coventry, I think Barnsley are a much better side.
Yeah, in the same respect that Burton didn't punish us when we was a bit open at times, and Sunderland did, and Coventry didn't. And like you say, Barnsley might just because they're effectively a championship side, let's be honest, and they've brought in another one this week to replace Tom Bradshaw, but we'll talk about that in the match preview. But yeah, as Steve alluded to, there's a couple of injuries. Mark Byrne looks to be a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I see on Twitter someone today seen him out in the shopping centre and he didn't look like he was struggling, so maybe it's not going to be a serious one.
Yeah, I did read the tweet, but surely was he just walking about? He looked like he was skipping around the Saver Centre, so I'm not really sure.
I don't know about Charles Cook. One of the players put on Instagram, did you see today? I don't know if it was Wilkinson maybe. They just like zoomed in on Charles Cook's thighs.
I have not seen that yet. I've not been on Instagram today, but talking of that man, Steve Lovell comments and says as soon as he felt it, he should have come off, referring to Regan's injury last weekend. He will learn from it, and he's said basically what we said. It was a bit of naivety, really. That extra 5 minutes could have made it worse. That's what we said. He should have sat down. You noticed, didn't he? Tried to make one more run in behind. I think Tom Eves tried to play him in, and he just held it again, sat straight down, and that was it. And Steve goes on to say, rather than 2 weeks, it could now be 4, but it shows his character. He wanted to stay on, and he was devastated when he came off. I've got no issue with that. He wants to try and play on, but
But
I think with a bit
we've got
more
to think about long
experience.
term.
Yeah.
If that was our last game of the season and we need the points, you'd understand and desperate
But
to
not
stay on. But
last week of August with a whole season to look forward to, and obviously.
I mean, there's that bit of him where he's just that excited to be playing first team football. He doesn't want to be out because he's then got to try and work his way back in.
Yeah, like we said last week, if it weren't for Callum Riley, ironically picking up a hamstring injury before the first game of the season, he probably wouldn't have started. So you can understand that he wants to keep his place, but now he's going to sadly probably miss a bit longer than we'd have thought. And the difference between him, he's what, 20 years old, and Mark Byrne's 29. So Mark Byrne knows how to manage himself a little bit better, but hopefully they're back pretty quickly. But yeah, it's a quiet week, like I've already said. Little bit from the skipper inside. He talks about pace will cause teams problems. Gabriel Zakuani goes on to say, when you have pace, there is no answer to it sometimes, said the experienced defender. Teams now see that if you have pace in attacking areas, you can hurt opposition. I'm seeing it a lot more, but I just don't know if that's me getting older. Teams know if you have at least one player with pace, it does cause problems. We've said it last season.
Saw it last week.
We didn't have enough pace, did we? And we had loads. We've got loads in the side this season. If we can, it's whether we can fit them all in. I think in terms of both fullbacks, they're no slouches, are they? Josh Parker's quick enough. Elliot List's quick enough. Regan Charles Cook's quick enough. Brandon Allion's ridiculous. So just like jet-illed the whole time. But yeah, whether we can fit them all into the same 11, I'm not sure. But it's good to have that option in the team. And
you kind of don't want them all in the 11 because you want to have that bit on the bench as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise factor, yeah, to change it up if it's not working. But on the back of them comments from Mr. Zakuani, we are going to do a little in focus on him today, and here comes a lovely picture of him on your screen right now. He's made a big call this week, which can only benefit us, I think.
Yep.
I'll let you talk about it.
Personally, I've always been club over country. I think they're the ones you go and see each week.
Pay your wages.
Yeah, they're the ones you spend your money on. For me, it shouldn't be an issue, but fair play to him. He's the captain of Congo, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's been their captain for a few years as well.
Yeah, he's now come out and said he doesn't want to be selected for the time being because he wants to focus on his career.
He's not officially retired, has he?
Yeah,
He's just said he's stepping back,
yeah.
so that seems to be the fashionable thing this week because a couple of England boys have done that as well. I think Gary Cahill and Jamie Vardy, yeah. So for me, I think he's probably retired because
he's not getting. He's at that age where the travelling's probably taking it out of him as well.
He says exactly that. He says, I will miss it. I've done it consistently for 13 years, but it's a long time and I've achieved as much as I wanted to achieve with the national team. It was a tough decision to make because I've done it for a long time. I enjoyed leading them. I was captain, so it was a big decision to make. There was a bit he did say about the flights, but... Oh, here it is. It is more now for me to try and play as long as possible with the age that I am, to try and stay fit because the flights and all that, it does take it out of you. So I think it's a sensible decision, really clever. Because we're going to say that, aren't we?
I wonder if he looked at it as well and gone, if he's going to be gone for, say, 2 weeks, Lacey aside, we're then looking at Omar.
Yeah, we're short unless we can get someone in the next, well, what, 24 hours is it? Or what time does it end tomorrow? Is it? I don't know when it is. It midnight, 5 p.m. So I'm not sure. So,
he said the armband's got something to do with it, didn't he? He feels a bit more responsible.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he can't be missing games. So, but the biggest thing is it benefits us. It also says he wants to score more goals. It says that he scored goals at every other club. He just, one would be a start, Gabby, if you're watching. He had a chance last week, didn't he? He was unlucky. Climbwell and won a header, and he scored really early in pre-season first, like last year, though, didn't he? Got one at Dartford, I think, when we was there, but just hasn't managed to do it in a competitive game. And he says that he's scored everywhere else he's been, and he says I definitely need to start getting a few and contributing. It takes some pressure off the strikers, and that is something I can work on. I've always scored goals at other clubs. It is only here that I can't seem to get any. It's not his primary job, is it? So it's not the be-all and end-all.
Up until last week, he's done a pretty good job at keeping him out, and that is his job.
Yeah, so maybe if we can just keep a couple more clean sheets, then we'll let you off not getting 20 a season. But just on the whole, he's been absolutely first class since he arrived at the club, hasn't he? So, proper captain, proper centre-half. Doesn't like it to feet, I've always said that, but he's a proper defender, and we've looked a million times better since he arrived. And I think he's made Max Amar a better defender as well.
That's another thing, it doesn't break up that partnership, does it? Because if Lacey comes in and starts playing well, then all of a sudden No, Zakuani has to come back in because he's captain. It doesn't do anything for Lacey.
Yeah, it makes it difficult. And then didn't he miss a couple of games last season just before the run up to Christmas, and we got beat, and people were saying, "Oh, why has he been dropped?" And then he came back in for Fleetwood away. I think we won 2-0. We're really, really good defensively. So I think he's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet because he's probably our best defender, out and out defender, and he's our skipper. So, but yeah, that's enough about Gabriel Zakuani. On to the small matter of these coming up on your screen now as we travel north on Saturday to take on recently relegated Barnsley. We joked about it at the start of the video. It's not the greatest of venues for us to go and play. We haven't won there for over half a century apparently. So if you're looking at that purely, then we're not going to get anything out of the game. In terms of form, obviously we're only going on the 5 league games. I'm not including the EFL Trophy, EFL Cup games, but Barnsley have got 11 points from their first 5. They've won 3 and drawn 2. We've got 7. We've won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1. 1, 2, drawn 1, and lost 2.
Weren't they lucky to get a point last week? They scored late, didn't they?
Didn't they come from 2 down at Scunthorpe or somewhere? And their latest home game as well, they only drew 0-0 in Wimbledon. So if we can go there and be solid, then we've got half a chance, I think. And but we've just got to get back to doing the basics right defensively, I think, haven't we? Because, like we've already said plenty of times this season, as good as we've looked going one way, it's almost cost us slightly towards our own goal because we've looked a little bit open. The fullbacks have probably been a bit too high up the pitch at times. And
it's all about getting that balance, isn't it?
yeah, of course it is, and it will come, and it's by no means a disastrous start to the season. And I think we mentioned it on the Gilles Fancast podcast last week, didn't we? We're taking half the points available. If we do that all season as a rule, we'll be top half. So
the other way is if we'd have had results backwards, if we'd have won the last 2 and they'd have been our only 2 wins, we'd have been saying, "Oh, we're picking up on form."
That's it. Yeah, if we'd spread them out, it's just because we had the first 2 wins in the first 2 games, so then it's 6 from 6, and it's
I think I said on the
9.
podcast, well, once we get Barnsley out of the way, we then played all 3 relegated sides.
Yeah, and we've played last season's League 2 champions, so we've not had. It's not the easiest of starts, and we've taken 7 points from 15. I mean, if we pinched a point on Saturday, say for example, and then beat Wimbledon, that's another 4 points. So we'd have 11 points from the first 18 from the first 21 available. That's a really good start, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We've got to worry about this first. But yeah, so obviously we said we generally don't win up there, but we've not had Steve Lovell as manager up there ever.
No, he does have his knack of pulling them out, don't he?
I worked it out today. We've played 19 league games away from home under Steve Lovell. We've won 9, drawn 4, and lost 6. So we've taken 31 points from 51 available.
Well, we wouldn't have got that before, would we?
Which is 61%
all
of the
those
points
years our
available.
away record was atrocious.
Well, when you think we went under Stimpson, we went, what, 2 years effectively without winning an away fixture?
The last time I've done regular away games that season.
Yeah, it probably put you off a little bit,
did.
didn't it? Yeah, and we'll give it a miss. But it's a really good record. It's a really good record, and that's not just going to teams that are rubbish. And I mean, you think the teams that we've beaten in that time: Peterborough, Rotherham, Scunthorpe, Charlton, Fleetwood, Northampton. They were all teams that were playing for something at one end of the table or other. So it's not like we just went there at the end of the season and beat them because they were all on the beach. That's some really good results in there against some very good sides. Peterborough were up there when we played them. That was his first game, weren't they? Rotherham were in the playoffs when we played them.
I think were just
Scunthorpe were in the playoffs. Charlton were in the playoffs. I think Fleetwood were just to starting that bad run. I think we sort of almost pushed them onto that bad run, but they got in the playoffs the season before. A bit later on in the season, it was Northampton were battling relegation, so it's not like they were just coasting. There's been some really good performances. I know it's a cliche, but I think the first goal could be key. But they've got some really good players.
It's no good as scoring after 3 minutes, like last Wednesday.
Yeah, probably. Is it that you can score too early?
Yeah.
We did, yeah. I'm not sure it was that scored too early. I think it was that we conceded too quickly afterwards. But I know what Steve Lovell meant. They've got basically championship players in their squad, haven't they? I mean, George Moncur, was it Brad Potts? Is it Alfie Mowat?
Yeah.
Kiefer Moore.
Kiefer Moore's the one, isn't he?
Who scored 13 or 14 goals in half a season for Rotherham at this level last season. He got a hat-trick in his last... Was it the week before last? He got a hat-trick, I think.
Is their goalie still Davies? If it is, I think he's just been called up to the Welsh squad.
I think it might be, yeah. That was about the only area where I didn't actually like. You sort of looked at their names and you thought, "Oh, I don't recognise them." Like they didn't stand out, but the others are all really good at this level and probably a bit higher as well.
But they have. I said it. They've come down with the championship squad. So
they didn't sell any in the summer, did they? I think Bradshaw and
Bradshaw's
Bradshaw's gone, and they lost one more in the summer,
Yeah.
I think. But Tom Bradshaw's gone, and they've moved pretty quickly to sort that out. They've got in, is it Courtney Woodrow from Fulham on loan for the season? So he was highly touted in the Championship last season or season before, and then
he was good at this level before with Southend.
So he's another one who's proven in League One. So it's going to be a tough test all over the place. But if we play to our best, we can get something. If we're off it, I think it's going to be difficult. That's the bottom line. Team news for us. Obviously no Mark Byrne, no Regan Charles-Cook, and still no Dean Parrott, 3 hamstring injuries. But Josh Reese is fit.
Oh, I didn't see
that. Backpage says, welcome return, 1 in, 1 out. Last season's National League sensation, Josh Reese, is all set to get his Gillingham career underway. Reese joined the Gills in the summer after bagging 20 goals from midfield for Bromley, but was sidelined for the first month of the season through injury. The 24-year-old former Arsenal youngster got 90 minutes for the Gills on Monday in a practice game against Luton, scoring twice in a 7-1 win, and he is now fit for the weekend trip to Barnsley. So that's a big bonus. I think we said on the podcast with Reese that we thought Josh Parker was unavailable this week. He's not. He's here this week, and then he goes. So he misses Wimbledon at home, but hopefully we might have Dean Parrott back by then. But we've still got Navid Nasseri who can play at in that position, or Bradley Stevenson might come back into the squad. I've changed it up. I've changed the system this week to go away from home.
Well, I did as well. I think we said we spoke to Reese last week, didn't we?
I'm bringing in a centre half.
Yeah.
So we're going Holy in goal. I think we're probably going to have the same back five. From right to left, Luke O'Neill, Max Amar, Gabriel, Zakuani, Alex Lacey and Bradley Garmston. I'm making a change in the middle of the park as well. Riley came on last week, didn't he, for Mark Byrne?
Riley would start for me.
He starts for me, and I'm taking Billy Bingham out as well. Generally, I'm not a fan. If someone's coming back from injury, you put them straight back in. You probably ease him back in on the bench. But for me, Billy Bingham looked exhausted last week. He looked well off the pace. We said on the match day live he was constantly grabbing at people with his arms because he couldn't get to him. He seemed a yard slow. So let's just take him out. Then that gives him a fortnight. Then he's had a fortnight then from Coventry. He can go on the bench, and if he gets 20 minutes, then fair enough. But let's take him out the far end. I'd go Josh Reese in the middle of the park.
See, I think Bingham stays in this week because Reese has only played.
It's fair enough. I think plenty would probably say the same. But I'm just only going on what levels.
But they're both left footers, aren't they, Riley and?
That's it again. So if you can get a left and right, and then Riley can almost be, and they're both box to box.
Riley
I think.
And Bingham are left footers. Yeah.
Lovell said here in the paper, he said about this is about Josh Reese again. He was by far the fittest lad in pre-season with the amount of running he does. He's a great lad, so I was disappointed for him to have missed out. Hopefully, he'll come back. So that's just my thinking behind it. I think Billy Bingham needs a rest. Surely Callum Riley's fully fit now. He's come off the bench in the last 3, I think, hasn't he? Walsall, Sunderland, and Saturday Coventry. Yeah. So he must be fit enough to start. I'm going to play. Some people ain't going to like it. I'm going to keep Josh Parker in the number 10 role this week.
Too.
I just think he was all right Saturday. He's learning the role. I'm not a massive fan.
He said, I think he done one of them Q&As on his Instagram, didn't he?
And what he said.
And someone said to him about the number 10. He said, "I'm learning it. It's different."
Not so much time to make decisions, I think, was the big thing. Yeah,
that's honest.
He's giving it a go. So I'd keep in as the number 10, and I'm going to make a change up front this week. I think Elliot List deserves to start. So I'm just going to I'm going to take Brandon Hannon out of the firing line. Number 1, he's young. We don't want to burn him out. I know people say the professional footballer's only playing once a week, but it does happen. And number 2, I think he started the season really well, but how much of that has been because he's playing in tandem with Regan Charles-Cook because they've grown up together. He's not there, so will he be as effective? So I'm going to drop him to the bench and I'm going to start Elliot List up front with time.
I would have kept Hannon and Hayes.
That's fair enough. Like I say, so we've got 2 changes, 2 differences then. But I mean, if they went that way, I'd be absolutely fine with it if it was Bingham and Hannon. I've got no issue with that at all. So my bench, I've got Tom Hadler, Barry Fuller, the same there. I've got Billy Bingham, so you'd have had Josh Reese.
Yeah.
I've got Bradley Stevenson back on.
Yeah.
I've got Navid Nasseri on.
Yeah.
And we've both got Connor Wilkinson.
Yeah.
And then I'd put Hanlon, you'd have List. So you'd keep List on the bench.
Yeah.
So it's a good weapon, and either way, it's pace off the bench. So if we are in the game,
yeah. Right.
So, predictions.
I don't ever predict us to lose, so I will say 2-2.
Oh, Desmond. Scorers?
And now I know Reese is fit. Reese and Eves to score.
Oh, Reese off the bench. I like that. Well, I've gone for a score draw as well. I did write it down. It is there, 1-1, and I've gone for Elliot List. I won't bet on it because I said 1-1 away from home against Bristol Rovers last season. Elliot List to score and I bottled it, so I'm not going to jinx it and have some money on it. So I think if you ask any sensible Gillingham fan, I think they'd happily take a point, wouldn't they? This is a team that's going to be in the top 4 or 5, I think, this season. Similarly to Sunderland. So if we can get a point there, like you always say, any point's a good point away from home. if the home form picks up, we'll be absolutely fine this season. Just going to mention Stocky. It'll be the last time we mention it, I do promise. Stocky, we're into the last 24 hours now for his auction, so if you can get on Facebook and find him, I think he's been putting stuff on Twitter as well. Follow the link. There's loads of good bits still available. Some of them are not massively priced, are there? There's like signed shirts, Tunbridge Angels, local Kent sides. They're only up to like £7-8. I think there's Tom Eves boots are at about £40.
The promotion winning shirt from one of the league.
Yeah, that's on there. There's a signed 2004-5 championship shirt, but that's gone
Glenn
right
Johnson's
up. I think that's up to, yeah, they're still at a reasonable price. So if you've got £20 behind a cushion on the sofa or something, go and have a look. Get yourself a bargain, and all stuff goes to a worthy cause. Won't be at Barnsley Saturday.
No.
Portsmouth looks like it's going to be our first away game, which we cannot wait for. I am going to make sure Boss stays in the week before and doesn't go near any caravans or grass verges or rain. But yeah, we'll be back Monday with another Monday review. Hopefully it'll be another positive one. If we get beat, we get beat. So be it. It's one of them. They're a good side. They're going to beat plenty of sides that are better than us. They're going to beat plenty of sides that are worse than us. So let's not get too downhearted if we don't get anything out of it. As always, thanks for watching. Please comment in the box below like you always do. Sunderland vlog is still on the rise. It's quite ridiculous.
I've now started checking.
6,200 and something I looked this afternoon is absolutely mental. The Coventry one is over 600, but it looks a bit pathetic, bless it. So thanks to everyone that retweets, shares and does all the usual. Only 17 away from 900 now. The subscriber count's gone through the roof recently as well. That's enough from me rabbiting on. From myself and Boz, till next time, up the Gills.